What up? What up? Photo
Yo.
friends,
Hello.
welcome to Bird Photography. Bird
Oh,
with Will and Sam.
why is
I've
it roped
never
into
taken a
this?
photo of a bird.
The joke is the joke old?
I mean,
Not yet. Welcome to Photo Friends Live Q&A with Phil, Will, and Sam. Hello, everyone. Let us know in the chat if you are here live or if you're here watching the replay. Just drop a comment. Question of the day is, what is your favorite breakfast cereal? Sam just finished up his
oh,
big bowl of cereal.
that's
And
why I see.
Will and Sam, how are you? And what's your favorite cereal?
Well, I think Frosted Flakes would be my go-to. I feel like I could eat like an entire box of that by myself.
What a cliche cereal.
What is? I don't know that there's any cereal that's cliche, but sure. Yeah,
It's that one.
Frosted
Okay,
Flakes are
Lucky Charms.
solid.
Lucky Charms. How about that?
Okay.
And what
Yeah.
about you, Will?
Yeah. Oh, not how I'm doing.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. More
Cool.
important question is the cereal question.
Yeah, please.
And then we'll get to how you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, the Honey Nut Cheerios and what
Talk
was the
about
other one I said?
cliche.
The cinnamon toast crunch. Let's go.
Scott Duffy in the house. What's up, Scott? And Scott agrees. Honey Nut Cheerios. We got Maria with the
Yep.
Lucky Charms. Hello, hello. I would have to say, I mean, Honey Nut Cheerios and Frosted Flakes are good choices. We started getting into like a philosophical question about like, what is the best? Like, what's your favorite? But then also, like, what is the one cereal you could eat for the rest of your life if you had to pick one? And I think either of those are good options for me. A cereal that I've really, appreciated as an adult is Quaker Oatmeal Squares.
That's not cereal.
Quaker
That's
Oatmeal
such a dad.
Squares.
Those are
Quaker...
oatmeal squares.
No. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No. No.
Quaker Oatmeal Square cereal. It's like kind of
This must
random.
be a dad thing.
Yeah.
But okay, oh man, that's so lame. Okay.
Also,
anyways, how are you?
to be fair,
Yeah.
cereals don't do well with folks who can't handle milk all that well. So cereals just kind of like,
Well, I was telling
whatever.
Sam.
Oh, Quaker Oatmeal Squares. Yeah, I've never had those. That's like a knockoff on a wheat thin, not wheat thin. What are those called?
I don't know what you're saying, but I don't think
You're
those
right.
are knockoff. But you got to try those. Try them and get back to me. But
Okay.
yes, the milk problem. Like my kids don't drink
I don't-
milk.
I
Well,
don't
one of
drink
my kids
milk.
drinks milk, and they don't like cereal with milk, which is a huge life experience that they're missing out on.
I grew up with a guy that would put orange juice on his cereal.
No.
Yeah,
That is.
Yeah. Also, do you pour the cereal first or the milk first?
Oh,
The cereal first.
definitely
Right?
the
Serial killer.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Definitely
I knew
the
someone that did the
cereal.
opposite. Freak.
We're civilized here, you know?
Yeah, God, yeah, man, that's orange juice. That is nasty. Like with any, I mean, maybe I could see it with
I don't
like
think it's with any cereal. I think it's like with a specific cereal.
okay,
would work,
still.
He also ate kiwis with the skin on, It's,
Okay, this guy was living outside the lines. All right, let's get to photography stuff in a
What were we
minute.
talking about?
But first, how's life in general with you two?
Life is going well. I don't know. How you doing, Will?
I'm good. I'm just, I got back from a long week on a cattle drive where I was wrangling and photographing all week. And I finished editing all the photos already and got them up to the guests. And now I'm actually working on 2 photo books, one of which I ordered last night. And the other I was just working on right now before I joined you guys.
Nice. And you
Print
mentioned
your photos.
Yeah, you print your photos. You mentioned you were actually designing the book in Lightroom. and that you can do that by downloading
Yeah.
templates for like all the different services. What service are you using to print?
So this is my first time doing it, but I'm using a service called our website called Burb.com, and they had a plugin that goes directly into the Lightroom Classic where you can just basically like click on the book icon and it takes your gallery or collection that you've made and you can make new virtual copies and then like design the layout. And then if you need to adjust the photo, you can like double click on the photo within the layout to help them all match a little bit more easily, which is
Mm-hmm.
like the advantage to using Lightroom versus using another book app or using their website. You can actually edit the photo within the layout of the book. So it all is a little bit more cohesive from a post side, which I've been
Nice.
enjoying a lot. And I'm making two books. I'm making like a cheaper like guest book where everyone's faces and happy and smiling, and then I'm making a more expensive like bigger, thicker like fine art book with all the photos that I did out there.
Nice.
So the fine art one's the one I'm currently working on. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And I've never actually ever done that with my photography, and B through Lightroom. So I'm teaching myself a whole new like. If you guys have used Lightroom Classic before, at the top, it's like library, develop,
Yeah.
and like it sounds like you've done it before. It's book, and I've never actually gone in and done it, and now I'm doing it. It's pretty fun.
I've never heard of anyone actually using that, even though I like have like a little lesson in my Lightroom
It's
class
great.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool.
We're gonna have to try it out. Phil, there is actually one thing I forgot that has come up recently. We're having a baby.
No, you aren't.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Why are you telling me on the live stream, Sam? Woo!
We've just started telling people. And
Dude, you're gonna have his reaction now forever.
it's been a lot of fun to
Oh
share with
my
people, and it
gosh.
skipped my mind until this moment, and then I had to text Jamie on the side, be like, "Wait, will you go?" So I could make sure I can do this on the live stream.
This is
Yeah,
oh my
I
god. Well,
understand
first
now.
off,
Yeah.
congrats. That is seriously, that's amazing. Oh my
Thank you.
gosh.
Thank you.
We're gonna have to talk after this.
We'll talk more about it later, but yes,
Yeah,
lots of
holy
newborn photography.
guacamole. That is amazing news. And dude, this is just I've been feeling great lately, and I think it's because I don't know, things have been going good, but what's funny is that you just told me this, and then, Christian, my good friend, best friend from childhood, he just told me they're having a baby. And up until now, like none of my friends have had kids. Like they've all been Isabel's kids or family or whatever. So, wow, this is a whole new era. Holy crap, dude. That's amazing. Photography can wait. That's crazy. Okay, we'll talk more details later. Congrats.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
Thank you, and thank you everyone on here for saying congrats. Yeah, it's exciting
That
time.
is
He forgot.
oh
It's
my
like he forgot.
gosh. I thought I had some exciting news that I just thought of today, but it comes nowhere close to that. But it is still pretty kind of exciting. This morning, I got tickets to the World Cup.
No way.
Whoa,
Yeah.
You can do that?
cool.
I don't know if so.
You can
I
do
don't
that?
know why I did not text you guys. There was a time period where you could sign up to get early access to buying the tickets, and then like you would get like a time slot, and that mine opened up today. I don't know
Wow.
if like there's a way to sign up again to get like a time slot, because the batch of tickets they were selling today like were already getting sold out. But
That is bigger
That's so
news.
cool.
oh my gosh. But
Do you know what game and what round and what stadium we're at?
so, well, I actually got 2 games at SoFi in LA.
Damn.
And one is in the group, like the first group round, and one is in the second round of 32. So,
That's still pretty cool.
I mean, the tickets were like got really expensive really fast. Like they're having the quarterfinals here in LA, and I think the cheapest tickets were like, I don't know, $800 or $1,000 for those games. So I didn't do that, but I figured it was like once in a lifetime experience to go to the World Cup here. So
Oh yeah, that's
man,
awesome.
Yeah, so that's gonna be cool. But you're having a baby? We're having a baby, guys.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
cool. Ah, man, that is just like I don't really care about talking about photography stuff, but I know we should.
Well, thanks for coming. We'll see you guys in a couple
All right.
weeks.
Yeah,
Yep.
we gotta get ready for our babies, guys. Oh my
I don't have
gosh.
any babies.
Okay. Anyways, all right, let's talk photography. This is our live Q&A. Apologies for everyone, but thank you for sticking with us. If you have questions, go ahead and post them into the comments. Um, we've also got a bunch of questions that were posted to the forum and ahead of time, so we'll get to some of those if we don't have any questions. But yeah, I guess let's get to a couple of those while we wait for questions to come in. Colette Moore posted in the community. She's currently photographing with the Fuji X-T3 and wants to upgrade the body eventually, but in the meantime wants a new good all-rounder lens. I currently have the kit lens, the 18-55 and the 35 1.4. Is there a lens you recommend? Well, Colette, you came to the right place. There's a lot of Fuji shooters in the community. The 16-55 is definitely like an amazing all-around lens. That's a 1 or 2.8. And so that, like, if you want a standard zoom lens, that's amazing. If you want something a little bit different, I would go with either the 16 millimeter 1.2. That's like my favorite go-to lens, actually. It's a little bit wider than the 18, so it's not gonna give you that range, but it's a really nice lens. Great for landscapes, sort of general street photography. And then if you want to just add another option to your kit, the 80 millimeter macro lens is so fun to use because it's good for those macro shots, getting up close, but it's also more telephoto, so you can get creative with your portraits and fun stuff. But yeah, the 16 to is it 56 actually is the one that I would say general all arounder amazing lens. Maria asks, when does a photographer in our chat? When does a photographer's style become recognizable, and how do you know you're starting to develop one? That's a good question.
I mean, I think to get recognized as their style, you have to have a body of work, I guess, like something to like see a bunch of their work and that it kind of has a similar tone or look to it. We've always talked about this. I feel like when I was on Instagram, like you guys would say like, oh yeah, there's definitely a Sam style. And I look at it and I see them all as individual photos that felt very different from one another. But the colors, the compositions, like they were just like what my eye naturally saw. And so like, I was never like, I only shoot 50 millimeter and, super close up or something. And that's all my photos. And some people are like, they do all macro photography. But I think so naturally, as you take more and more photos, like what you see as a good photo or what is, pleasing to you ends up becoming sort of your style because that's the kind of photos you take.
Yeah. I think it's like both like the style, like what you're photographing and then you're editing. I mean, for a while, like Will, you were always editing stuff black and white. That was like everything on your Instagram was black and white, your style. I don't know if it's still that way or if you kind of, am I right? Wasn't it like all black and white for a
Yeah,
long time?
it was like 95% black and white. Sure. I think though that like I just liked exploring that and I appreciated it. And it definitely was more my style, but I don't know. It was like it's like all art, it being subjective, it's sort of like I don't know, moves and vibes with my own emotions and my own feeling. Like right now I'm making these books and like I'm totally not doing any of them in black and white. They're like very vibrant and colorful. And then it's like, well, then what's the style, right? Is it the color or is it like the way the composition is? Is it how I lay things out as a gallery? Is it a single photo like Sam's talking on its own? Is it a body of work? Is it you as an artist? And so like I don't know as if style is really ever I don't know, like Sam said, recognizable through one photo. It needs to be not just a collection of photos, but I think over time as an artist, like the way you look at photos in general as like a collection, something for you to get used to. Like you're saying, how do you start to recognize it and how does it become recognizable? I think it's like looking at other works, bodies of work, and seeing how they work and develop. And as far as like developing one, I think it sounds as cheesy as it sounds. It's like just follow your gut and what you think is going to be expressive in your own work and emotional, and it will come and it will develop, but over time. Like there's just no way you can
Yeah.
just snap into a style. Like also, like don't use other people's presets. Like get
Yeah.
be your own unique person. Like don't copy other artists. Like I think your weekly challenges are super great because you get to actually have the challenge, but then every person is bringing their own unique literal lens to it, and that is where you can start to see style in different people while still shooting the same thing.
Yeah.
So that's a good way to recognize it.
And my last thing I'll say too is like just start being a little conscious of what do you do when you're editing the photo. I do think like the visual style comes a lot with like the edit, and like are you always bringing up the darks so it's like super bright, or maybe you like a more contrasty edit, maybe you are desaturating like just the yellows and reds, and you tend to have like a more dark and moody desaturated look. Pay attention to like how you're editing, because you can like slap on a preset, you could copy someone else's style, but at the end of the day it's like when you're like, how do I develop my own style? I guess it just comes from like that repetition of like what you end up gravitating towards the more and more you edit.
And that's such a good point. Like, I do think going out and taking photos is a big part, but like, spend time editing and learn editing techniques and learn how to really, dial those things in. Because I love the idea of taking a photo and it just looks perfect out of camera, but that's also kind of like, your look is then the Canon look or the Fuji look. It's not necessarily like developing your own I don't know, post processing of it. So
Yeah, totally. Cool. We got a question from Scott Duffy in the chat about AI. So, is there anything exciting about AI for photo editing? Any new AI photo editing tools that are emerging? Are we just using Photoshop, Lightroom? Have you guys played with anything outside of the newish features in Lightroom, Photoshop for AI stuff?
I don't,
No
unfortunately,
AI,
I don't,
anti-AI.
I don't live outside of Lightroom Classic, but the AI tools that have been made available inside Lightroom Classic have been useful here and there.
Yeah. Yeah, there have been a couple other tools that have popped up, like Luminar Neo. This is one that if you search anything related to AI photography, you're going to get ads for. They do a lot of the things like upscaling or up-resing your files, removing noise, denoising. A lot of that used to be really good before. Well, it's still really good, but like Lightroom has caught up, I would say, in terms of those tools, and the denoise feature in Lightroom is now like just as powerful, I would say, as these other ones. I did a pretty deep dive looking at some comparisons from some other photographers using these tools who did all the sciencey work behind it, and basically showed that Lightroom has caught up. So for me, like I have been using a bit of the remove distractions, where you can easily remove like wires, remove there's the new, it used to be like in the healing brush, but you could like just paint over a distraction and it'll use like generative fill to remove that. I've used that in Lightroom. I haven't used anything outside of Lightroom though, just like Will.
Yeah.
Sam, anything?
no, Lightroom's the main thing. I mean, it's I think it's really cool what's being, what can be done with it, and like you said, like the noise reduction and some of the like removing things in the backgrounds and stuff. But it it becomes a slippery slope where for me it goes from, I guess, more photography into more multimodal digital media. Yeah, I don't know, something
Graphic
beyond
design,
graphic design.
compositing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, which is cool, and I think it's, probably fun to play with. I mean, my buddy was sending me a bunch of AI videos of himself in crazy scenarios, but it's not. I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty amazing though. The removing things and like the noise reduction, it's gotten so good. It's
Yeah.
really intuitive and can help move really quick now, opposed to going in and like bit by bit trying to select something out. So yeah.
The tools that I have not played with, unfortunately, because I can't give a good review of them, are the couple that are more for like I imagine helpful if you're doing like events like a wedding. If you're a wedding photographer, there are tools like Imagen, and
Mm.
Aftershoot, where they're plugins that are from their advertising makes it look like it's editing for you. It's composing it, it's cropping it, it's doing the basics of more. I think more than just slapping a preset on, it's analyzing the actual photo and making an adjustment similar to what a preset would do, but customizing it to each individual photo. And you can just apply it, batch process it through for like a full set of photos in Lightroom. And so those are
Mm.
like presets, or not presets, but plugins that you install into Lightroom. So I'm gonna have to play around with those so that I can talk about those more with people asking, because that could help. Again, it takes a lot of like the artistry out of it, but I could see how that can make editing a batch of wedding photos way faster for people.
Right. I will say also like Adobe as a whole and like the whole suite, and if you have Adobe Photoshop, if you have Lightroom, those are pro level, tried and true, amazing softwares that you can do a lot with. And like from what I've seen on the Photoshop, I don't mess with Photoshop that much, but I get the updates and like we'll get a little, see what people can do with it. I mean, it's incredible what that software can do. So it's not to like, I don't think you can sort of say like, or should I only use Adobe Photoshop or should I use these other ones? It's like, that's an incredibly powerful tool you can use.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
the one of the, but it's just my thoughts on the AI stuff is like, I think the ability to denoise photos is super helpful, because now, like, I saw the headline from some photography website that was like, ISO doesn't matter anymore, because even with a bad camera, you can use an AI denoise filter to basically fix that noise, which is like one of the main reason, or the main issues with like a cheaper crop sensor camera, or older camera that doesn't photograph in low light. And then the upscaling too, which
Hmm.
also
Right.
similarly, if you're shooting with a smaller sensor camera and you have a smaller size photo, but you could upscale it, and then you have a 60
It
megapixel
does.
photo. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the problem that I have with those, and I've experienced this a lot recently, is that like I'll use the denoiser in Lightroom and it makes my 40 megabyte files turn into like 65 megabyte files, which is cool per image, but like when you do that across multiple images and volume photography that I'm now involved with,
Yeah. It's a
it
lot.
it a slows the crap out of my
Mm-hmm.
computer, given my computer's like 5 years old, but
Yeah.
it also then, like, over time, if you're adding 10 to 20 megabytes per image, it just eats up space like
Yeah.
so fast. So now we're
Yeah.
talking about like, okay, so there's this added bonus to AI and stuff, but now here's a whole nother section of gear that you have to upgrade. You have to make sure your computer's fast, you have to have bigger hard drives to do all this stuff. So it's like, double-edged sword.
Yeah. I mean, all this stuff too, like with AI, which shout out to Scott. Scott's a buddy who teaches Udemy courses too, and we chat about AI tools for video creation and teaching online all the time. But the idea that these AI tools are the worst they'll ever be is just like crazy to me. Like, it's only gonna get better. I live on this edge of like hating it all and wanting to just go live in a hut in the forest and not touch technology, but then obviously like utilize it and teach people how to utilize it. I think as yeah, no, the AI debate could go on for a long time, but just like, yeah, thinking about that issue, I think these tools will continue to get better. The processing power will probably get fixed or get easier at some point. Someone's gonna develop a file compression thing like Silicon Valley.
Pied
That was the
Piper.
show where
Pied Piper. Yeah.
yeah, Pied Piper, where like all these photos are gonna be more compressed, and then it'll solve
Yeah.
all of our space issues. But yeah, and it's going so fast, rapidly changing, which is just crazy. Someone who was this Diola Doctor asked, why didn't we have no frame by frame? Apologies about that. I did like try to cancel or change the name of the session last week to cancel it, and the only reason is because I am redoing my entire Adobe Premiere Pro video editing course. It is a massive course.
Whoa.
And when I'm in the zone, I just like need to be in the zone, and doing frame by frame on Thursday like basically takes me out of the whole day of being able to film, or the whole morning at least. So that's the only reason. I'll be back tomorrow with frame by frame, hopefully reviewing the past couple weeks, or maybe because there were a ton posted last week, maybe just last week, and I'll try to catch up. Luna's video asks, answer my concert photo from the forum. Okay, let me get to that. Let's get to that question.
Love a good concert photo question.
Okay, Luna's videos. Suzanne, shout out to you. First opportunity to use a proper camera for a small rock concert. Questions. Are there any specific etiquette rules, even though it's just a small club? And technically, which of my lenses would you recommend, and which settings would you choose? I'm unsure about the type of focus to use to get sharp images. She's using the Sony A6400. Lenses are the Zeiss 35 1.4, Zeiss 24-70 f4, and the Sony 55 to 210 f 4.5 to 6.3 variable. So go.
Those are a lot of questions. How do you shoot a concert? I mean, I don't know. Where do we start?
Okay,
I mean,
so I guess the first question, are there any general etiquette rules as a photographer shooting a concert in a small club that you should be aware of?
I think everyone like takes it differently, right? Like, I don't know. My always main rule has always been like, do not affect the concert goers as best you can.
Yeah.
Other people would disagree with that because they want the image. But you know,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, staying out of people's way is probably a good thing.
Yeah, respecting the fact that people have come here to see the performance. Obviously, I think you can sort of take that, once you're there, if there's like 10 people and there's a lot of space around, like, a lot of concerts, I'd love to go stand like right in the middle and be able to get, certain angles that if it's packed, you can't get without like really annoying people and blocking people's views and stuff. So if you're able to like get creative and walk around and get different angles, while also like, yeah, if you have like your LCD screen on and it's bright and it's a dark club and you're like doing this and, blocking people's view, like, in my opinion, you don't do that. Like you try and be respectful of the people there and whatnot.
Yeah. What about using a flash? Is this something that, I know, Will, you did the whole concert photography workshop. Is a flash something you use as a concert photographer?
it depends on your level of how do I say this? It depends on your level of connection with the band. There's been like times where I've done like, big arena I mean, I shot Luke Combs at the like Lucas Football Arena in Indianapolis, where it's just a football stadium, right? So like
Yeah.
a flash is going to do absolutely nothing. Like,
Yeah.
unless you have like strobe set up. But then like I used to shoot these small little punk shows that are local. And if you know what you're doing, you can remotely put up flashes inside the stage if you can get there beforehand, and they're cool with that because it'll just add to the show. But at that point, it's like, oh, I had put like a strobe behind the drummer, and like I could actuate it wirelessly when I'm somewhere else and do it, or I could hang one up in the corner and shoot it from like the wherever the lighting grid is. But at the same time, like having a flash on top of your camera, if you're just a fan with permission, is probably a no-go. They're not going to like that
Yeah.
at all. That's a little aggressive. There's something to be said about the like toy camera, like disposable camera look. You could probably get away with at a low powered level, but unless you're like professionally in with them and can get there beforehand, I would. And usually, the lights are so good that you don't need it for the band
Right.
if you're shooting concerts. So generally it's fine. And I don't know, just to like piggyback, I don't want to be long-winded because obviously like we've uh between the three of us we've shot a lot of concerts and stuff, but the way that I've seen the best way to shoot a concert is to be in manual mode. Pick your f-stop, pick a high shutter because you want to capture as high as you can, as far as like influencing your ISO. Decide what the parameters of your ISO and your camera are, like how high can you go and how low can you go, and ride your ISO. Like I would normally like put the ISO on like a dial that you can move up and down, and that's how you change your exposure versus
Hmm.
something else, because you want the f-stop open and you want a fast enough shutter to capture the imagery. So yeah,
Yeah.
the variable at a concert ends up for me being like changing the ISO more than anything else, which is like different than at another event that I normally shoot. So
The lens choices on the crop sensor A6400, the 35 prime, I feel like a zoom is nice for a concert. I don't know. I'm just imagining a zoom is going to be nicer. I mean, bring the no. Sam says no.
I
Sam
mean,
hates zoom lenses.
no, to each their own. I think you could get great photos with either of those. I wouldn't recommend the 55 to 200. I mean, I would definitely bring it, and they're probably going to be really well lit on stage. And so taking photos at f5.6 maybe is not going to be an issue. Um,
that's so
but
funny. I would absolutely recommend the 55 to 200. That should be the only lens you're using outside of the 35.
I guess it depends on how big this space is. I could imagine, like,
one, how dark it is. I mean, if it's like
yeah.
I don't know. It just depends on what the lighting is on the stage. If it's a bright stage, by all means, yeah, use that. You can step back, you'll be
Flags are
able to
better.
get closer things. But if it's a smaller club, is a stage up high, is a stage at floor level, can you be on a 35 and be standing basically across from them? Like that could make for some really cool
Probably
imagery.
not. But in which case, like primes are bad for concerts because if you're stuck in one spot, you're toast. That's all you got, baby.
If it's packed, absolutely. And also, I've shot only primes at concerts and gotten great photos. And
Well,
yeah, but
but
you have to walk
yeah, you
for
have
it,
to
and you
move.
have to be moving around. And I wouldn't
It is
only shoot
small.
on a 35 prime for sure. I wouldn't do that. But
I
If
think
it's
at the
small and you can't get into a pit and you can't get on backstage, uh, you need a zoom. Like you absolutely like if you want to have any sort of variety in your imagery and you want to get close up. Although, every shot's a close up, but you should try to.
Suzanne says that it's a small venue, so I guess the question is if you want to bring all three lenses, if that's an option. Like, of course, yeah, bring all the lenses, but if you're like worried about weight and size, and if you have to pick two for the smaller venue, maybe the 24 to 70 and the 35 you can get away with. Maybe, I don't know. Will's looks
I'd bring the
hesitant.
55 to 200. I'd definitely bring the 55 to 200.
Okay.
I
Like
think what
yeah.
what camera did
It's the
A6?
A6400.
What
It's a crop
megapixel
sensor.
is that? And it's crop sensor.
I don't know.
Props.
But I think what I was going to say, though, is just to Will's point, is like, unless you can well, get there early enough. Who knows? Maybe they have like an opening act or something where you can just lock down your like dial in your settings. Because I think a lot of beginners might get flustered with like what settings you should use being on a weird auto mode or something, and it ends up not working. Play around with your settings, and like Will said, I think locking down that shutter speed. And I think to Scott Duffy's point, the stage is lit, so you should have a general sense of what the lighting should be like. Now, during a concert, sometimes there's lights going on and off, and it's going to be darker, they're lighter, brighter in the specific moments. But in general, there should be a standard amount of light on the singer or on the band. So
I would also, my guess is with the A6400 that you won't want to go above like 3200 ISO. But before your show, I would take some photos in, not in super dark light, but just like get a lamp and do a single source in a dark room. So it's like a bright thing in dark space, and take some photos at 3200, 6400, put them into your computer and see how they look. Because on the back of your screen, you might be like, these look great. And I'm shooting at 32,000 ISO. And then you go in and look at them and they're all like crazy. We just talked about AI. You could do post-processing, yes, but also, it might be worth knowing what ISO you want to go to cap at. And then with that, you sort of know I can shoot at an f5.6 because I'm going to shoot it, in these higher ISO ranges and be okay. But I also think if it's a small club, you should totally put on the 35 once you've taken a bunch of photos and like see how close you can get and like get some like f1.4 shots, because that could also be cool.
yeah.
The thing that I love about the Zoom and like a concert thing, and you need some basic settings, it looks like they're saying, is that like yeah, just don't go above 3200 ISO. Just start with 2000, start with a wide open f-stop, whatever lens you're using, see how that goes. I don't know what kind of band you're shooting, but like a jazz band's just gonna sit there, right? But like
Yeah.
the punk and rock and a lot of the country stuff that I've shot, they're moving around. So to be able to go from like a 50 in your backstage to like a two shot of some guitar player that goes over there, but then all of a sudden they're both on the one mic singing together, I want to slam in 150 or 200. Like you have to be able to like move and get that stuff quickly, which is then it's like, okay, I'm on a Zoom, I can jam and wherever I am in the place, and then I can use my thumb to change the ISO based on whatever lighting thing they have going on. And yeah, rock is kinetic and energy, and like they're going to be moving and changing no matter where you are. Like they're not going to wait.
Yeah,
So
no, so
yeah.
that is good advice, and something that like is semi related for any type of photography that you haven't done, since this sounds like your first time. Um, Look at some concerts in a similar size, maybe in a similar size venue if you can, online,
Oh, there you
and
go. Yeah, look
just
at the venue.
see what types of shots people are taking that you like. And if there's like a handful, maybe 4 or 5 compositions, moments that you really dig the shot, like take a screenshot of that and keep that on your phone. And this is what I've done when I've done like family photography, because I don't know all the shots in the back of my mind. So I put some screenshots on my phone of poses, of compositions that I really like, so that when I'm there and I'm flustered, I can just look at my phone really quick and be like, okay, I want to get this shot. And I think that'll help you, since it's like your first time, just like be prepared, and just try to be simplified. You don't have to like get every single shot. Just like try to come away with a couple shots that you're really proud of. All right.
And if you
Yeah.
can also, sometimes something that I get locked into, like getting the band, get a wide shot of the band, you get some close of the band, and sometimes the stage becomes such a focal point. I would just say, like, once you sort of get those shots, which you need to get, maybe try and also like include some stuff in the foreground, get some people in the use the space as well, and like that can be a nice time to sort of like, oh, I'm gonna actually use a 24-70 and get a really wide shot, because I've been, it's gone so focused on the stage. But
Yeah.
if it's your first time and you're trying to figure it all out, I would honestly, for me personally, I just like take the long zoom lens, so long as there's enough light, and just post up for like 30 minutes and just get a bunch of shots from there. Like, don't overcomplicate. You don't need to go through all 3 lenses. You know,
Yeah.
just pick one and rock that one, and you'll get some great stuff. But if it's too much of that decision fatigue and you're constantly switching, it might take away from the experience. And it's more like, what lens are you comfortable with? What look do you like? Maybe you really like 24 millimeter and you want to do it all like that. Like, you know, make it your own, but it might be beneficial to just stick with one and, you know, get what you get.
Yeah. Awesome. I think we crushed that question and answer, Suzanne. I hope you agree. Here's a question from the forum. Look at that fancy screenshot I just posted. Caesar Guzman, who's here, asked, recently got the EFS 24 2.8 prime lens, already had the 50 1.8. What are our two prime lenses of choice? What two prime lenses would we choose?
18 and 85 in Solo 24.
18 and what'd you say?
18 and 85.
And still the 24.
Yeah. And then, I mean, yeah, but the 24 and 50 is a good thing. But I really like a really ultra wide, and I think the primary I would say is an 85 in that kit, something a bit more telephoto.
I like, yeah, I mean, I like my 16 and 80, so that's pretty close to that.
Yeah,
50's standard. 50's pretty much standard. If I had a full frame camera, maybe a 50 would be my go-to.
And I think I saw Caesar said on a 600D. I don't know if that's.
I think that's crop.
Is that crop?
Yeah.
So maybe wider than 18 then. I don't know. I really like really wide lenses though, so not for everyone.
Will,
I don't think Will like really wide lenses. Will, do you like wide lenses? Yeah, Will doesn't like wide lenses.
I don't need it. I got over my skateboarding fishbowl lens a while ago.
Wow. Cool, bro. I'm just gonna get down here.
All of Sam is the only person I know that can make a wide lens look so like classy. I don't know. You're good at it, man. I'm just not good at it. It never like that image behind you is one. No, I would probably go 24 or 28, whatever those are making. And then my other lens would be a 90 macro.
Nice.
Because then I can do macro.
Yeah,
and
that's
telephoto.
my 80 macro that I use too. Yeah.
See, look at that image that Sam took behind you. What prime did you use that, Sam?
Can you tell?
No, it's like a 24 or 18
30.
for sure.
Yeah.
No.
35?
That's the Q1.
Oh, so it's a 28.
Yep.
Nice.
See, I think a 28 is great.
That is a heavily cropped photo.
Oh.
Caesar has another question, another solid one. Says he's tired of taking photos. Started in August, took a bunch of classes, events, blah, blah, blah. Started as a hobby. Don't plan to start a business anytime soon. But how do we deal with what I can only define as photo burnout? Man, we all feel that, don't we? Sometimes. A lot of the time.
I love that.
I mean, okay. Do you guys have thoughts about that, I guess?
Tons. Yeah.
Go for it.
Go ahead, Sam. Let's hear it.
Me first? Oh, man. I was going to wait to see what you guys said. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a real thing. I think like the question with AI brings this up for me. Like, why are we taking photos? Like, you can generate any image at this point. You can utilize things to do a lot of this stuff. And so really it's for me being in moments or being in interactions with people. And there's an enjoyment in that. I think, not that I have shot many weddings, but when I have, it's really cool to be there on like someone's happiest day and you're capturing everyone looking really good. And like, you get to be a part of that. Going out to the Honeywell Ranch with Will, it's like we're on horseback. It's more about the moment and using the camera to capture it. And I've developed a skill set with the camera to be able to offer that to people. As of late though, like I used to love landscape photography. I still love going on hikes. I just don't want to carry a camera with me anymore. And like, I love doing astrophotography. I now live somewhere where it's less accessible. And so it's a lot more effort to go out and get those shots. But more and more, the thing for me is that I want to do portraiture. That's been my like the thing that I want to do, but haven't because I don't really know why I would go take photos of random people. Like I'm lacking the reason, and it's kind of a weird, sad realization for me in the past year. Probably Instagram really pushed me as a photographer. Without Instagram and social recognition of my photos being cool looking, I've kind of lost a reason to take photos.
Mm.
Like
Oh,
I don't post photos.
Whoa.
Yeah. Um so I'm starting a new project though, and it's um sort of focused on like doing interviews with people and then taking their portraits. And that's kind of like gonna be what I hope to be, sort of reviving this feeling of like just a project that I can focus on that's not a huge lift that I can like go and do in a single day and not spend like
Hmm.
years on or make it this huge thing. And it's just like, just individual conversations and take a portrait of the person.
Yeah.
So that's been my approach. I've definitely though, like Will's been working actively as a photographer. I think Phil, like I see you taking photos all the times of birds at least. Um, but I don't know.
Is
It's
that a
been a weird
diss?
thing for me that no, I don't know. No. But yeah, I don't know. That's for me. Like I feel like I'm still in burnout mode, to be honest, and I'm trying to find a way to fall in love with photography again because I love it. I love having the images and memories of these different times in my life and things I did. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all that, and I think I've been burnt out a lot the past few years. My short answer is the two things that I would recommend are one, it's like just get to a new place, go somewhere different. That's
Mm-hmm.
always been a way to just like snap, like not snap out of it, but just like find a little bit of creativity. If you're photographing the same, downtown or neighborhood over and over, that can get old really fast.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, back to the bird photography. It's like follow your curiosities. Like I did not
Yeah.
think I was going to be into bird photography. Like I've gone out to the places where I'm now taking photos of birds. There were birds there. I was not interested in them. And I mean, I think it happened because I just was getting curious about the birds in my backyard. And then I knew how to take photos. So marry that together, and now I'm like super interested in like how can I get good at wildlife and bird photography. But it's just kind of a rabbit hole that I've followed. So maybe it's just trying something completely different. Like if you've never done astrophotography, go drive somewhere where it's a dark sky and try it out and see if that inspires you. Try something different. But yeah, I think a lot of it's just get out there or just take a break, honestly. Like we all feel this way, and sometimes it just takes time.
I think
Well,
I think other art. I think other art too. Like first of all, it's a very real thing. Like we've all had that burnout, but I think other art is good. Like I draw a lot, and I tend to like and journal, right? Like you tend to like do those things that kind of help inspire and like gives you a break from the visual photography monotony. But I think also finding a subject that you really, 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 really like and enjoy, that'll get you excited about taking photos again. And like that can ebb and flow. It doesn't always have to be the same thing throughout your whole life. And something in my writing that I've thought about since I was like in college or high school is like Ernest Hemingway. He's like, if you ever get stuck, just write one true thing first, right? And I think you
mm,
can apply that to photography. It's like just go take one photo. Just think about like what Phil is saying, one like astrophotography, even if you've never done it before, just one photo that you just want to go get. Don't put like I'm gonna take a photo like Sam, I'm gonna go take a bunch of landscape photos, or like I'm gonna do a whole event, or I'm gonna do like a whole thing. Just you go somewhere and take, or like, at your desk, take one nice photo, and then just see where it
yeah,
goes from there. And then if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. Like that's art. Like
Yeah.
yeah,
And
it's very
also
emotional.
he just said, it took me back to dancing. I think that's like also
Yeah,
very you have the tool now of
real.
photography. Do the other things that you do in your life that you enjoy doing, and like you can apply photography to that and have it with you in that. But sometimes,
Totally.
yeah, maybe it's like too much pressure on the single thing of like, why am I taking these photos? What am I doing with them?
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
I love that idea of the relation to writing and just writing one true thing. It reminds me, I'm
Hmm.
totally gonna butcher the idea, but I edited my brother-in-law's class about storytelling, and he was referring to the same dilemma of writer's block and the advice of just zooming in and focusing on one detail. And the story was like, the
That's
student
cool.
is confused about what to write about. They wanted to write a story about, their town. And then they zoomed in, the teacher was like, well, zoom in. And it's like, they thought, okay, maybe I'll start with the building. And the teacher was like, no, zoom in further. So do the window, like start with the idea of the window. No, zoom in further. And it was finally like, just start with the brick on the wall,
Yeah.
start there, and then craft a story starting with that as like the entrance to your story or whatever. And the same, I think, goes for photography. Is like, maybe it's like, yeah, simplify and zoom into one thing. And that's actually not to be promo-y, but I launched the Powerful Photography course, and there's the My Impact project where I'm prompting students to like work on a project that has some sort of impact. And doing it along with them, I had the idea of like, how can I take photos that showcase street safety or the dangers of streets in my town to like help promote like bike and pedestrian safety. And then I was like, how can I zoom in? And I decided to just make it all about like one intersection. At first, I was like, how can I go around the whole city and like find all these spots that are dangerous and photograph them? But then I was like, let me just like simplify. I'm just going to focus on one intersection. I'm going to photograph it from a few different perspectives, from like the driver's perspective, from the cyclist perspective. And I thought that was like a good way of taking my own advice to actually like simplify a project that I'm working on,
Mm.
and just make it easier. So, Caesar, I hope that
I like that.
helps.
Yeah.
Um, so, does anyone have any last questions? We're almost at the top of the hour. Very had a few questions. I hope we can get to one of them. We might have to save a couple for the next stream. But post any last questions that we'll try to get to really quick. Let me pick one that Very posted in the community. An easy one. Okay, we'll just do this one. And I want you guys to answer this in the chat, which is, the question is, what or who brought you into photography? Was it a family member, friend,
Oh,
situation who inspired you to choose this career, or you had this passion? Have you had this passion since always?
that's a good one. Does that vary?
Yeah, she has three
It can
good
vary.
questions, but I think we can only get to this one today.
I like that.
You want to go first, Sam? You want to Phil? You want to go first?
No, go ahead. I've been talking, so one of
You
you
can go well.
go, Will.
Oh boy. Wait. What? Who brought you into photography? I'd say I've always had this like weird keen eye with like art and drawing and visual as a kid, and then oddly enough, like my mom had a professional Nikon N2000, which I'm always on a hunt for. Like I have two old N2000s, and they're like Nikon film camera, but she had one, and when I was 10 years old at this guest ranch that we would go to, she let me use it for the first time. And one of the first images I shot was the barn at the Honeywell Ranch, where, yeah, I'm an hour wrangler and a photographer at, yeah. So that was like honestly my I remember very distinctly because I was like, oh, this is so cool. This is like a camera, like a professional camera. And I took images around the whole ranch like when I was 10 years old, and we developed them at a 1 hour photo thing in Mammoth, I think. And I was like hooked. That was the passion of photography and what I loved. The career came from my high school photography teacher for sure. And I just got lucky enough where I went to a high school where we had like a dark room and like the ability to like learn manually how to shoot film and develop it and create prints. And he heard me complaining about my job at Subway as a sandwich artist. I've ever told you guys this story because I worked at Subway and I would complain about it all
Sandwich
the time. He's like,
artist.
dude, why are you complaining about your job? I was like, it's awful. He's like, why don't you go get a job you like? And I was like, oh, right. And he's like, I can get you hooked up at this 1 hour photo lab in this camera store in Torrance. Like, we should figure that out. And then I think from that point on, he was a very chill motorcycle riding, surfing photographer, broham. So you could tell where all that went from and came from. Is probably him for sure, career wise.
Nice. Awesome. Sam?
Um, I think it was just that my dad. So both my grandfather on my mom's side and my grandmother on my dad's side, each had dark rooms in their homes,
Mm-hmm.
and
Oh, cool.
they were kind of these weird, mysterious places that I didn't ever go into, and I'm really bummed about that because, like, in my mind, it's just like that's like a weird dark room. And it's creepy. Um, but it's kind of always like in the back of my mind, like there's always sort of a camera around. And then my dad on vacations always had a camera, and he shot on Nikons and stuff. And um, it's very much so just like a family, a family member taking photos of the family and tourist photos and stuff like that. It wasn't art, wasn't paid, anything like that. Um, and yeah, that's kind of the inception point because I just thought it was like a cool piece of technology and I wanted to like take a photo or two. And then, um, yeah, probably college years, it became for the first time that like I knew photography. I was way more into video stuff, but like I started working at the Loyalin, the newspaper,
Mm-hmm.
and taking photos for them. And so it's kind of like getting assignments and having to go, capture photos of different events or pitching ideas of like as part of snowboard club and would go take photos with them and stuff. So yeah, I don't know. It was kind of and still is really more of just like a hobby and something that I really enjoy doing. But yeah, yeah.
Nice. That's funny. We all have like pretty similar like inspiration points in the beginning because as a kid, like my dad had an old Canon camera that he always like brought around, film camera, and he would talk about stories about taking that backpacking in Europe and bringing it along. And actually, it's funny, my grandpa also had a dark room in his garage. And my grandpa passed when I was like 5 or 6. So that experience and relationship never really happened. But I always think back, like, man, if my grandpa lived for longer, we would have been such like good friends and like had like that. I would have like loved to explore his interest in photography because it was just kind of like a side interest, I think. But I think because like I knew that, and then my dad talking about his camera, I took a film photography class in high school. And looking back, I think I kind of just took it on a whim, but there must have been a reason why, I leaned towards like taking that class versus like painting or the other options for like an art class in high school. And so, yeah. And then, yeah, same with Sam. I kind of like started with video work and then that's kind of transitioned into the photography. But yeah, all starting from, a family member having a camera and just that being like interesting. So, yeah. Um, all right. That I think is the last question we're going to get to today. Rosemary asked a question about the ideal file size, pixel dimensions. I'm going to have to get that back to you about that because I'm actually not 100% sure. We use
For
Circle
what?
to host the community, but I'm not sure if there's a very
Oh, posting in the
specific
community.
resolution. But we are not doing a live stream in a couple weeks because it's Thanksgiving holiday over here in the States. So we'll probably be back the second week of December, which would be the last stream of the year. And then we'll probably come up with a new schedule and see how things are going. Maybe keep it the same. But if you have thoughts or feedback, let us know if you want us to keep doing these. We've had fun this fall season coming in here and catching up and answering your questions. And yeah, I'm excited to talk to Sam about this big news after we sign out.
I'm gonna play back. I'm gonna play it back. Your reaction and get a screenshot.
All right, everyone. Talk to you later. I'll be back tomorrow for Frame by Frame, though. So if you want to see me review student photos, you can tune in.
That was fun listening to you last week or the other week.
Oh, good. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed that. All right. Goodbye, everyone. See ya.
Bye.